So, I mean, this film feels like a bit of a kind of throwback in a kind of good way to kind of some of the kind of high school kind of movies that I used to watch when I was younger. I mean, I was wondering, did the director Stephen give you guys any sort of homework, any films to catch up on to kind of get help you kind of understand the kind of nostalgic aspects to this production?
Yeah, he was like really into Easy A and Clueless and 10 Things I Hate About You. Those are like the three big pillars that he also wanted to do his own homework on, but wanted us to check out as well. But yeah, all the he wanted to pull from all the 2000s, 90s kind of classic rom-coms.
It has that kind of classic love-hate relationship between Nate and Ellie. I mean, in terms of finding that kind of right dynamic with Sarah, was that quite tricky to kind of reflect a relationship between two people who don't really like each other, but we need to feel there's always some potential there for that to change?
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to, I mean, I think there wasn't even like I hated her perspective. I think she hated me because I was like a little bit rude to her for sure. And I think that like there's always room to grow if you hate somebody. There's like energy that you are giving to a person that can always change. But if you give somebody like no piece of your mind and give them none of your time, then they wonder like why, and then they have to try to like get your attention. And I think yeah, like that's why like people really love the enemies to lovers trope, and it really worked in this scenario because there was always room for us to grow. And once I had figured out that she had signed me up for that, I knew how to find my way in and get her on my side.
Yeah. And I mean, in so many ways, it's a kind of coming of age story because there's a kind of realization from Nate that he's kind of got to grow up a bit, or as he says, he's got to get serious. Do you remember
Yeah.
any kind of defining moments in your kind of formative years when you thought, okay, Chase, it's time to knuckle down now?
Um, I remember when I was in high school and I could really feel myself just like not thriving in academics, and I felt like I was getting kind of beat up for it because I was going to and from LA all the time, so I was missing like tests on Fridays or a Monday, and not only were the kids in my school kind of giving me crap for it, but so were my teachers. And once it got to that point, I was like, I need to move to online school, and like there's something else. I have a bigger purpose that I want to really pursue. But if it's not good for my mental health that people were kind of just giving me crap all day long, and so I was just like, I really need to take this seriously because it's messing with me. And so I sat my parents down. I told them to switch me to online school, and that was my turning point. I was like, I will take this very seriously. And I went from having really terrible grades, moved to online school, and I started getting straight A's. And yeah, I got serious.
Right. If you were to have run for school president, what do you think would have been the first thing that you changed?
I would have made like any school game free. Like I don't know. I don't like the idea of people having to pay to be a part of sports. And if anything, I would try to lower the costs on your involvement in sports because I think affordability goes a long way when it comes to sports. If you're like joining the football team, you have to pay like $200 for gear. I think that even that's like expensive. There was a sport that I joined later in my years, lacrosse, but it was only because my uncle had gear that he could pass down to me that I was able to play. I would make things like that more accessible, and I would also like have like donations more often, so kids that need gear can play.
Yeah. Also, maybe tacos every day. I think that was something that was in the movie. Just have tacos every single day. But one thing that didn't determine kind of popularity when I was at school, because I'm an old man, Chase, is kind of follower counts. So I just wonder, is that now, do you think, a kind of big part of kind of the high school experience? Is how many kind of followers kids have got on kind of TikTok or Instagram? And do you think it's important that the next generation don't determine their own kind of worth on those numbers?
I think in high school, I mean, I personally wouldn't really care. Like if someone has like an absurd amount of followers in high school, well, people were looking at me differently for having a little bit of followers back in my day. I say that like I'm old, but like back in high school, um I had like 30,000 followers, and I had people asking me for shout outs and such and such. But I mean, if you were to have that in high school, yeah, now people actually kind of don't make you popular. You kind of people become like, ew, like stay away from me. Like, what? You're popular? Like, why do you want followers so bad? You want attention that bad? Like you have to, I'm like, I don't know. There's a weird connotation around it that people in high school actually liked me less when I started having followers and just found ways to like use me for it or try to use me. But I was already smart enough to work around that when I was in high school. I kind of learned about it really quickly because I was just like, well, wait, what do you mean? Why would you want to use me for that? Why like I thought this would make you want to be my friend, but it did the opposite.
But I mean, as your career has kind of just gone on to grow and grow, obviously kind of in music, obviously now in kind of film as well. With that has come quite a staggering amount of kind of subscribers and followers that you have following your different accounts on your different platforms. Is there a kind of responsibility you think that comes with that and having that many people kind of following your journey, I suppose?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a responsibility with being an artist, with being anyone on that does social media, and that's to not mislead people and misguide them in the wrong direction. I think there's a lot of examples of people online that like and whatever, right, or with their music that are misguiding people and teaching them the wrong things. But I think, yeah, you have a responsibility if you have a following to guide people in the right direction and not like abuse your power.
Yeah. I mean, you've obviously got, like I mentioned, the music as well as the acting career. I mean, if you met someone new for the first time and you had to introduce yourself, how would you describe yourself? What would you say you are? Is there, what would you use to describe what you do as a living?
I would say like I'm just a creative, a lover of the arts, and I like to do it all. I like to appreciate it all. I love clothes, I love music, I love acting and films, and I love to talk about it.
And then do you bring that kind of musicality to set? Do you kind of make playlists or anything to help you kind of get
Yes.
into the right headspace? And if so, what was the one track or the kind of group of tracks that best summed up your experience on how to lose a popularity contest?
I was playing a lot of 80s like cult classics. There's a song called The Promise that I really love. Enjoy the Silence. And Eyes Without a Face, Billy Idol. The like that kind of those kind of classics. I was playing a lot of that like while we were getting ready. Um and then occasionally I would throw on uh some metal, and then the hairstylist would be mad at me, and then I would be like, all right. And then I'd switch it to like country because she was like wearing a cowboy hat. She's like, like I would just kind of use music to get everyone going in the morning and laughing. But I would go all over the place, and I have a lot of music saved to my phone, but I also have I love to just like go into the stuff. If someone like mentions an artist, I'll be like, I got a song for you. And it'll be by the artist they just mentioned 30 seconds ago. And I just love playing with music. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a language.
And just very finally before I go, I mean, in terms of like looking ahead, is the kind of long-term aim to keep balancing the acting with the music? Or do you set yourself kind of any goals, any kind of 5-year plans, or do you just sort of take it day by day and see what happens?
I'm setting so many goals. I have goals for this year, and beyond, and I think that each year is just like let's keep amplifying the message of what the things are that I'm passionate about, and I want to just keep expanding upon these worlds in music and acting and fashion. And I think those are my three pillars that I'm really focused on right now, and just being a creative and letting the world know what I'm about.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Chase, and best of luck with everything you've got going on.
You too. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
I
Okay,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Have a
Cheers.
good
Bye.
night.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys. Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.